All right, more TIFF reviews. Let's talk about one of my favorites from the festival, Sentimental Value, which is a new Joachim Trier movie following his success with The Worst Person in the World, which I say is my favorite romantic comedy of all time. And like that movie, the lead of this film is Renate Reinsve, which I hope I said her name right. I always say Renee Reinsve, but then I researched the name and everything. This is a little bit of a different tone where I say it's a lot more somber than Worst Person in the World, but it's not without its moments of hilarious comedy. And I feel like they share a lot of similarities in how they tell their story. Okay, speaking of the comedy, I have to say, there's one joke in here that references two people I really love that I did not expect them to make, but also made so much sense that they made this joke. Okay, I won't say anything more. But anyways, this is an interesting tale about how artists approach work. And it focuses on two different ways of, I guess, making art. Trying to be a little bit vague here. And I really loved how they explored those two art venues. It's something that I've seen covered in other movies, but not quite like this way. Another thing I love about this movie is how it captures the passage of time. This film uses a limited location, and yet it uses it so effectively. Again, aided by how interestingly it's shot, but also just how they capture it once again over time, which I found very impressive. I also thought the ending of this movie actually was effective in making me tear up a bit, which is very hard nowadays. This film script really builds a living world with its characters, and every character feels very distinct, and their connections, which just follows a lot of familial connections, feel very authentic. The visual style has a naturalistic feel to it. I guess it's even more grounded than, say, the visual style of The Worst Person in the World, but there's interesting use of longer takes and things like that that really set it apart, and the framing and everything is just purposeful and it makes sense. Loved how it looked visually. I also love how the film uses music. There's one track in here, one licensed song choice that was used in another film in TIFF, and it was just funny that it was used in both of those films. I think it was used way better in this film, even though the other film was good. I won't say what that was, but yeah, great score and great use of licensed music. The performances fucking rocked. I mean, Renate's fantastic. We have Stellan Skarsgård, who's amazing in here. Elle Fanning, who actually provides a really good performance. Like, I don't know, I can't really think of many great Elle Fanning performances. And I thought she was great in here. There's a new actress I wasn't too familiar with. Her first name is Igna. I can't remember pronounce the rest of her name. She did a fucking fantastic job. There's even a child performance in here that I thought was great. They make fun of it in the movie where they're like, some child performances are a little bit too jazz hands. And this is just what that wouldn't be. This is a naturalistic performance. They just scooped up a child and was like, be in this movie. And I prefer that so much more than those child who are too show and tell with their performances. That comes off distracting and fake. So yeah, I have no complaints with any of those technical aspects and any of those ways they told the story. Only thing that I would say was just a little tiny problem and why this is not a 9 and instead a high 8. I do feel this goes on a little bit too long. I feel like this could have been edited up just to be a bit more tighter, and there are sequences, I think, in the middle where I was like, okay, this is kind of dragging a bit. So, little slight pacing issues. Other than that, this is an amazing movie on so many fronts. A very distinct experience, even if it's looking over things that I've seen so many other drama comedies do before. With all things considered, I give this a high 8, and it's in my top 5 movies of the year for sure. I could totally see this going high up in the Oscars if you're looking for that. Probably being Best Picture. Like, this is fucking phenomenal. I still like The Worst Person in the World better. I probably like also August 31st better, but I do have to rewatch that one. Worst Person in the World I watched recently, and that's like in my top 20 movies of all time at this point. Still, very distinct experience, and this was fucking awesome. So let me know if you've seen Sentimental Value and what you think in the comments below. What is your favorite Joachim Trier movie? Subscribe here for more TIFF reviews. Seriously, you subscribing, liking, and commenting helps so much with the cruel algorithm in this channel. I'll see you later. Peace out.